Hey, what's up again, YouTube world? It is your girl here, the Venusian Bull, astrological tea video for you today. And today we are going to be discussing the forward-thinking and progressive sign of Aquarius. Yes, we're going to be discussing the water bearer today. So get ready to put on your futuristic hats and we're going to take a blast into the future right now. So once again, I want to, state my disclaimer that you may display some of these. If your sun, moon, rising happens to be in Aquarius, or if any of your personal planets, Mercury, Venus, or Mars is in Aquarius, your north or south node, as well as if you have any planets in the 11th house, because that is akin to the Aquarius house. So just want to point that out there. I need to give my blurb, my initial statement about Aquarius. So Aquarius energy, their motto is "I know," right? Because they always in the know, they know everything. Very, very smart. So this is the one of the other signs that I mentioned, along with Scorpio, that has two rulers. So its original ruler is Saturn, also ruled by Capricorn, also rules Capricorn. So it has to deal with discipline, status, death, stability, longevity. It's the teacher. It's about hard lessons, hard work, career, deterioration, the planet of karma, structure, and responsibility. But its modern day ruler, which in my opinion, I feel like Aquarius really, really fits the modern day ruler so much more than Saturn, is Uranus. And it has to deal with innovation, electricity, entitlement, enlightenment, inventions, unorthodox technology, social media, rebellion, revolution, astrology, activism, science, the future, friends, liberation, and humanitarianism. So Uranus is a jam-packed planet, and it definitely represents Aquarius energy to a T. And like I mentioned before, where Scorpio has two rulers, Mars and Pluto, and I actually believe that they both make sense, like they both embody the scorpionic qualities. Saturn to me doesn't really give me Aquarius energy. The only thing that this is just my interpretation personally. But if you ask another, somebody else that's into astrology, they may say something different. But to me, the only thing that equates Saturn to Aquarius is like the coldness, in my opinion. But to each their own. So of course we're gonna get into my favorite part of the videos where I do the songs, and a lot of the songs have the same theme for Aquarius, I must say. So first off, because have to go with this, because Aquariuses are the humanitarians of the zodiac. So we are the world. We are the children. We are the ones that make a better place. So let's start giving. So, Michael Jackson and Friends, right? And also, speaking of friends, what about your friends? Will they stand their ground? Will they let you down again? Oh. Aquarius is all about their friends. Also, like, since Aquarius is like the activist, kind of like the protest sign. So remember that song, War. Mm, 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 mm. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. So that gives me Aquarius vibes too. Also, there's a song by Omarion. I got this icebox where my heart used to be. Got this icebox where my heart used to be. No, I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold. Yeah, that's Aquarius. So cold. Icebox where they heart used to be. I mean, I think that should be Aquarius's theme song. I don't know about y'all. Also, Friends. So many of us have them. Friends. Yep, that one. Also, the Imagine Dragons, Radioactive. I feel it in my bones enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. That new age part, yeah, that's very Aquarius. I know a little bit of rock up in there, yeah. I'll be stunting on y'all. Anyway, so this was like the best Aquarius look I could come up with last minute. I was like, let me do something different with my hair, like put it to the side, like, and be different. Let me do like grayish eyeshadow. Let me just like show that kind of icebox, cold, like ice princess look. Yeah, that's it. Ice princess. That's good for Aquarius. All right, so we're going to get into the nitty gritty of the characteristics of Aquarius. So Aquariuses can be weird, strange, and they stand in that. Like they stand in their truth. They typically will acknowledge that they are different in some way, shape, or form. Alien, even honestly, like they feel like they're alien to this world. Like they shouldn't even live on Earth. Like they should live somewhere outer space, out in the universe. They should probably be living on Uranus if Uranus was capable of having actual human beings live on it. But if it did, then they would. But Aquarius are so forward thinking and technology driven and smart that they could figure out a way to make it happen. You never know. They can also be kind of perverse. They can be kind of the perverts, one of the perverts of the zodiac. So be careful. Rebellious. They go against the grain. Nothing that they do is like the norm. They're always going against the grain. Always. Remember that. Especially if you have children that are Aquarius energy, they ain't gonna listen to y'all. just let you know. They're really non-conforming, so they don't agree with the social norms or anything that is society's standards of living. Like they just are non-conforming. They are the humanitarian sign of the zodiac, so they are about giving to the world, philanthropic endeavors, if you will. They're about the collective. So they're not really about the self. They're about what is good for humanity. That is Aquarius. But they are also emotionally detached. And they're kind of back to the perverse part in reference to Aquarius. They kind of may, delve in some unusual sexual activities. Not quite like a Scorpio, but just weird and odd, things. I don't really know per se. But yeah, let's just leave it at that. They are also kind of because they're all about, everyone needs to love one another and we're all human beings and we're all kind of the same and that kind of aspect and, everybody needs love and all of that. That's more of a Pisces thought. But in any event, Aquarius is the LGBTQ sign. Quintessential LGBTQ sign. So the energy of Aquarius is very, accepting of all kinds of people, because even though they believe that they are different, they are going to always be the first ones to be like, we're all humans. This is humans loving humans. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter if you're trans. It doesn't matter if you're gay or if you're lesbian, if you're straight, if you're bi. We're humans loving humans and all of that type of stuff. So they are, I read in one of the astrology groups that I'm in, they actually put Aquarius, and don't take it personal, but I mean, it's just if you have Aquarius energy, you are apt to be that kind of pansexual, type of person who is down to, be with anybody, men, women, trans, whatever. Non-gender conforming as well. So it's you are like a Libra, kind of in touch with the masculine and feminine, but kind of taking that, to the next level in terms of like Jaden Smith, right? He's not an Aquarius. I have to look and see if he has Aquarius energy in his chart because it gives me that. But remember how he wore a dress for an ad campaign or something like that? That's non-gender conforming. You know what I'm saying? They could also be asexual. So that kind of goes back to unusual sexual activities. They could be asexual. They're also the sign of the genius. People with a lot of Aquarius energy tend to be extremely, extremely intelligently gifted, to the point of genius. So yes, an innovator, an inventor, always innovating, inventing new things and things of that nature. Experimental, they cooking up stuff in the lab, trying to make new ways to make our lives easier. Most of the time that's via technology. But they can be disloyal. You know what I'm saying? They can be disloyal. Not only are they the sign of friends, but they're also the sign of acquaintances. If you kind of want to put them in the same category, you know, you can, acquaintance, friends. But Aquarius, people with Aquarius energies tend to have a lot of friends. They have this magnetic attraction thing about them, and that has to do with them being ruled by Uranus. So they attract a lot of people. A lot of people like to be around them. Therefore, they have a lot of friends or acquaintances. So this summer, we actually had a total lunar eclipse that occurred in Aquarius. It was July 27th, I believe. And that was very, very major. It was very significant. We had 3 eclipses this summer, one in Cancer, one in Aquarius, and one in Leo. And that Aquarius eclipse was kind of what shifted everything. Think about what I've said so far about what Aquarius represents. So if any of those things, you know, friendships, innovation, rebellion, non-conforming, you know, being an activist, being an innovator, being different, being unique, if any of that stuff, you know, if you saw a shift in anything around July 27th or a little bit before, or you're feeling that now, that's the effects of, you know, Aquarius energy at its peak. You know what I mean? So Aquarius is also about freedom and liberation. Actually, I don't know if you guys watch Queen Sugar, but the character Nova, she gives me major Aquarius vibes. She's such an activist. She's always protesting. She's always about the collective. You know, she's an equal opportunity lover, obviously. We know that. So, I mean, she definitely gives me Aquarius. She wants her freedom, like completely. Aquarius is actually known as the sign of astrology. So think progressive, like forward thinking, different ways of looking at things, even though astrology has actually been around for like thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that progressive thinking, it's more like Aquarius energy is the energy that would make it more mainstream and more accepted by society. But it is the sign of astrology, and we happen to be in the age of Aquarius. So a lot of people were debating if we were still in the age of Pisces, transitioning to the age of Aquarius. Some people think that we're already in the age of Aquarius. I happen to think that we are in the age of Aquarius. It just seems like there's been massive shifts when it comes to technology, when it comes to authority, when it comes to what's accepted and what's not accepted. I mean, we still have a long way to go, but we're definitely moving more in that progressive direction. People are getting their own minds. You know what I'm saying? People are thinking for themselves more these days. But at the same time, people still are kind of followers. So it's also in that group complex, that organization complex, which Aquarius also represents. So because it represents the internet, you know what I'm saying? So we're getting there. But I think that we're definitely in the age of Aquarius at this point. So Aquarius is also a very intuitive sign. This is typically the sign of the zodiac that produces a really nice person. People want to be around, like I mentioned before, so they have a lot of friends. Could be deceiving though, because you'll realize that they have an icebox where their heart used to be. You know what I'm saying? So as I mentioned earlier, the sign of social media and the internet. So y'all can thank Aquarius energy for thrusting this social media and all things internet in your face, because that shit is not going anywhere. We are in the age of Aquarius. It is what it is. So, yeah, so get used to it. It is the new normal. It's a sign of groups and organizations. They feel more whole if they are part of a group, organization, and in turn a cause. So Aquarius always has to be like supporting a cause. Like they're very much about, you know, what can I, support? Like, what cause can I be a part of? Like, who has a GoFundMe that I could support or something like that? Where can I go to a protest, to a rally? I need a cause to make myself whole. Like, I need to be a part of something bigger than myself. That's kind of the idea of Aquarius. It's a sign of progression, the new, the next, and the future. You know what I'm saying? It's always about progressing, being, years and decades ahead of the time. And I feel like this isn't obviously like a person or whatever, but like some of these Asian countries, like Japan in particular, they're very progressive. Like from what I understand and what I read sometimes, I feel like they're very much ahead of us in the United States in terms of technology and things like that. So that's very Aquarius. It's like they may have some of the newest technology and technological gadgets and things like that before we get it over here in the States. And it's just like really, futuristic and cool looking over there. When I see pictures of like Tokyo, it looks kind of like New York on crack, but like in a good way. Like it's just like lights and colors, and it's just I gotta get to Tokyo. I do got my passport, so I'm gonna be traveling soon. um, so Uranus, the sign that rules Aquarius, is right now transiting Taurus. Now, I believe it's going to go into retrograde and go back in Aries a little bit, but for the next 7 or 8 years, for the most part, it's going to be in Taurus. It's obviously a very practical and stable sign, and Uranus is unpredictable, it's unconventional, it's erratic, it's, all of these crazy things shaking up a stable Taurus's life that doesn't like change. So when you have that major transit going through a sign like Taurus, it's going to definitely shake things up. It's going to be looking at alternative ways of making money because Taurus is the sign of money. So you're going to be looking at alternative ways of that. Remember, I told you the 9 to 5 is going to become obsolete soon. Like not like in the next few years or anything like that, but definitely in generations to come, that whole 9 to 5, nah. Also, things are going to be becoming the new normal. You know what I'm saying? And certain things that weren't accepted really like that before are going to now be accepted because Taurus is the sign of normalcy. So when you put Uranus in the mix, there are certain things that weren't typically considered normal to now being considered the new normal. That's what I like to call Uranus and Taurus, the new normal. That's my nickname for that. Very, very futuristic in style and in technology. So, you might even see people who have Aquarius energy walking around looking like, just very futuristic looking, just like kind of like alien like I mentioned earlier. For instance, when it comes to style, I just have to mention, although this woman is a Cancer sun, Solange is an Aquarius moon, and it makes so much sense when you look at the visuals for her music and her style and her just kind of whole demeanor and everything like that is so Aquarius. It makes so much sense. It's like not even funny. So yes, she's an Aquarius moon. If you were wondering where that eccentricity comes from, that's not from her Cancer sun. That is from her Aquarius moon. So I want to make that clear. So Aquarius also represents space, like outer space, you know what I mean? The sign of technology, like I've already mentioned, extremely intellectual. They are an air sign, and they're probably on the highest spectrum of that intellectual, capacity. They're, I would say, probably the smartest of all of the air signs. Their rationale and logic is just like to the extreme. They're a fixed sign as well. So, they're going to be very strong in their convictions. And then that also means what they're fighting for, what they believe in, and things of that nature. Lacks a heart and soul, so can come across as cold. I mentioned that before. Remember, their opposite sign is Leo, and Leo is all about the heart. Like literally, Leo rules the heart. So juxtaposed to Aquarius, they definitely clash in that way. Leo needs to be loved, and Aquarius could care less. Aquarius is about love of humanity, not of love of individual people. So Aquarius, this is maybe something that people don't really know about Aquarius. They have a strong sense of entitlement. They believe that they are entitled to certain privileges and certain things. You know what I mean? And it also has to deal with government entitlement benefits like Social Security or like food stamps, WIC, and things of that nature. But yeah, they feel like they're entitled to stuff. So understand that if you befriend an Aquarius, because they'll start to ask you for favors and feel like you're entitled to give that to them because you've already been doing such. So I mentioned that they're the sign of friends, but so much so that their friends end up becoming their family. and they may just prefer it that way. So they may not really be that close knit with their actual blood relatives, but their friends become their family. As parents, if they choose to have any, because Aquarius not really about like having kids like that, Aquarius energy in general. But if they do, they kind of see their children also as their friends. Like they're not really their parents or like disciplinarian type of thing. You know what I mean? Also, like I said before, strong convictions and opinions due to being a fixed sign. Aquarius they're not a commitment sign like a lot of signs I mentioned, but they're prone to cheating in relationships. They are also prone to being the side piece and being okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like they know they're dating a married man. They know he's married. Maybe even she knows that about the other woman, and they're okay with that because as long as it's something about being emotionally unavailable that is appeasing to an Aquarius. So that distance is good for an Aquarius. They don't like too much closeness. They don't like too much stuff. So if they feel like you can go at any time, or they're not emotionally bonded to you, then that's kind of better for them. Honestly, it kind of like works out. It's weird. It's strange. It's different. It's Aquarius. That's what I'm saying. So they're prone to having multiple relationships. They might be into that whole like polygamy thing as well. So I mentioned that they are the sign of the activist, the protester. We should all be equal. We're all human beings. The sign that accepts all. These are the people that say humans love humans. You know how you always see those debates on social media where let's just say people are talking about, black love, or somebody is talking or, saying something derogatory about like a gay couple in a photo or something like that. The person with Aquarius energy is going to be like, I don't understand why we can't just all love each other. Humans loving humans is a beautiful thing. Love wins, rainbows, all of that type of stuff. That is Aquarius. They don't understand why we can't all just get along and accept each other's differences. Like they don't get it. Like I can do that. Why can't y'all do that? So yeah, they are literally out of this world, like I mentioned before. So it represents outer space, but their mind is like out of this world. They have this total like abstract, crazy, like genius way of thinking and coming up with concepts and ideas and things of that nature. I mentioned already we are in the age of Aquarius, or on the cusp of being in the age of Aquarius. This is the sign of alternative thinking, alternative methods, alternative approach to the social norms. So that means how we work, how we love and things like that. You know how like marriage is just not as it was like 50 years ago. You see the shift, you see the change. It's not as important. Women are, in a lot of instances, although there's still, work to be done in terms of the equality of the pay gap and everything like that. But there's a lot of women who are making more, than their spouses. Women are out working more. Women are having less children. Remember back in the day, people used to have like 10, 12 kids, and that used to be the norm. Things like that aren't happening now. More people are being entrepreneurs, quitting their 9-to-5 and their corporate jobs and going to work for themselves. Like there's certain things that are changing. You can have a whole career on the internet. You can make friends on the internet. This is like an Aquarius's dream, to be able to connect with people and not like actually be right next to them and have that emotional connection with them right there. They're like, ooh, we got to touch. No, but yeah, this is becoming the new normal. So that's just a couple of things that are changing. And again, there's certain things, like we are more accepting of the LGBTQ community now, but there's still a long way to go with that. So I'm not going to act like we're even already there. But I will say 50 years ago, somebody trying to come out as gay, like that was like unheard of. And for the most part nowadays, again, there was a recent incident that happened with a 9-year-old boy that resulted in him taking his own life due to him coming out as gay. But for the most part, which was very, very, very sad story. But for the most part, people are becoming more accepting of different, sexual orientations and, trans people and things like that. But we still have a long way to go. And that's why the age of Aquarius is here, to thinking forward thinking and being progressive and thinking outside of the box and all of that. So Aquarius is different, never simple or ordinary. So Aquarius is like extraordinary in their thinking and their concepts and, you know, their ideas and things of that nature. Unconventional as well. They can also come off as kind of aloof, like they're probably because their mind is in outer space. That might be the reason why they're coming off as aloof. Because Uranus is their ruler, Aquariuses are like magnetic, even for friends, like I mentioned earlier, or even for money. Remember I said they feel like they're entitled to things, especially if like your Venus is in Aquarius, you could like attract money. Remember I said Venus has to deal with money. So Venus in Aquarius, that magnetic attraction, it could attract money. It could attract the lovers. Like Aquarius is like, don't want those close relationships, but people are drawn to them. People like them because of their nice personality, because they're different. It's like, they be like, I can't quite put my finger on it, but you're just different. And I like that. You know what I'm saying? Or they're just really fun to be around. You know what I mean? I mentioned friends are very important to them, but friends are also very interchangeable and disposable. Remember the icebox? Like, it's like they have friends for convenience. You know what I'm saying? You're my friend, and then I'm going to say this per se, but for the next 6 months for this particular purpose, and then I don't really need you anymore. Or you're my friend for the next year for this particular purpose, and then I don't really need you anymore because it ain't nothing to cut that bitch off. Hey! So, yeah, I think that's one of Aquarius's motto. Like, they can cut you off and, like, not have any, remorse or anything like that. So, yeah. Typically a person with this placement would be very sociable. This is a very social sign. Always has a cause to support, like before, feels they need to be doing something for the greater good. Now, words can sting with Aquarius, and they can be very, very slick with their words. Remember, they're very intelligent, so, they already got a thesaurus up here already. And they can have no filter due to their lack of emotional attachment. So they will definitely be yelling all the expletives, all the fuck yous, all the shits, all of that good stuff, in a very intellectual way. Like, it's like they can intellectually cuss you out. I would say that. Yeah, that one. I like to call them the I don't give a fuck sign. I don't give a fuck. 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 That should have been one of my songs in the beginning. Yeah, that's Aquarius. And the reason why it's mostly Aquarius and some of the other signs, because I know that some of the other signs be like, Aries like, I don't give a fuck either. And Scorpio be like, I don't give a fuck. And Sagittarius be like, I don't give a fuck. But y'all low-key have hearts, right? And feelings. And Aquarius really doesn't have that. Aquarius is so cerebral, like they're such a mental sign and so logical and rational. They lack the most emotion out of all of the signs and the most feelings. So when they say they don't give a fuck about you, they really don't. Like, you are indifferent to them. And that is usually the worst kind of position to be in when, it comes to a relationship with someone. It's like almost better for them to hate you than be indifferent. You know what I'm saying? Like, a Scorpio is not really capable of being indifferent. Like, they'll just hate you. They'll despise you with a passion because they have feelings. They have emotions, deep-seated feelings. Aquarius, they're indifferent to you. If they've cut you off, then they're indifferent to you. So, it can kind of represent a robot. So it's kind of like, not really fluid, like not really, free flowing. It's kind of like very technical and, very precise, and put this here and put that there. Very, very robot-esqueness in the way that they work, especially if they're like doing something, technical, or inventing something, or they're in the lab, the chemistry lab or something like that. They could be very, very technical type of people, robot-esque. Emotionally unavailable, I already mentioned that. I mentioned that they're an air sign, so mental, cerebral, intellectual stimulation is everything for an Aquarius. The body parts that Aquarius rules are the ankles, the shins, the calves, the veins, the circulatory system, and the nerves. The internet has kind of become the new TV, and this is this has kind of been ushered in by the age of Aquarius, the new wave, so to speak. So, yeah, just think about that. Think about how people, are switching, like YouTube is their TV, and, people don't be having cable like that anymore because you can stream and you can watch anything from anywhere, all around the world. Wherever you are in the world, you got devices, gadgets that you can travel with. You got Wi-Fi. Like, this is the new normal. This is the new normal. This is why people don't talk to people in person. You can blame Aquarius for that because of all of the gadgets and things of that nature. But like, you have to admit, it does, make your life easier. And I know that a lot of us do remember before, everything was at our fingertips. Like, we could just go to Google right on our phone and we could look something up. Like, back in the day, you used to have an encyclopedia. You used to have to go to the library. You used to have to physically go somewhere to get this information. And now you can get it within 10 seconds on your phone. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I like that aspect of technology. And again, the whole communication aspect has dwindled because people are always, in their phones and in their devices, their tablets, their iPads, their laptops, and things of that nature. So they're not like focusing on the humans themselves, which is kind of indicative of Aquarius, because Aquarius, like I said, is more about the collective and less about specific, relationships with individual people. It also has to deal with electricity and magnetic attraction. So remember I talked about the magnetic attraction, but it also has to deal with electricity. So I remember earlier this summer when Mars went retrograde. Mars was in Aquarius at that time. Mars is now in Capricorn, but Mars just went direct. So it's going to be going back into Aquarius very soon. But when Mars went retrograde, I think like late June or something like that, there were some power outages and things like that. So Aquarius energy can bring on power outages or issues with electricity or, just like electric shock and, things of that nature. Usually ahead of their time, even if you're talking to an elder that's an Aquarius. Now, we know as younger people, like sometimes when we talk to older people, it's very, they're talking about their time and it's so different and things like that. And they just not about this day and age. They're not about the new age and everything like that. But if you maybe were to talk to an Aquarius or somebody has Aquarius energy and they're like 70, like you could be like, you can maybe like have a decent conversation with. They might be up on the latest technology. They be like, yeah, I got the whole hookup in my car and all of this type of stuff, and they might have all of the technology that a 25-year-old had and would know how to use it because they're already in that mindset. So it's some people, even though they're older, that are already in that mindset if they have that Aquarius energy. It can produce a very intelligent and gifted child. I wish I would have talked a little bit more earlier on about the signs as children. I think I might do that a little bit in my recap video. But yeah, Aquarius can produce a very intelligent child. Sometimes it may lack social skills early on because of the different, kind of strange, kind of let that fool you. Challenge them to be very good in like the maths and the sciences. That will come very easily to Aquarius. Inventing things, creating new things. More like inventing. Creating is more Leo. Aquarius is more inventing and like actually like using like formulas and things of that nature to figure things out and whatnot. So definitely keep that in mind if you have an Aquarius child. Know that they're very smart, and if for whatever reason they're failing, it's not because they don't understand the work. It's something else. So just keep that in mind. Unless other factors apply in their chart, but an Aquarius child is going to be somebody who's very smart. A smart ass too, smart aleck as well, but also very book smart, very, very intelligent. So keep that in mind when you're raising your Aquarius children. That is it for the information of Aquarius. If you have anything else to add, make sure you put that in the comments below. And I wanted to mention a couple of celebrities that are Aquariuses. Well, probably one of the most famous Aquariuses, Oprah Winfrey, of course. She's definitely the epitome of an Aquarius. First off, she's never been married and she has no kids. And she's all about humanitarianism. And clearly she attracts money like it's ridiculous. Like, and everybody loves her. Everybody wants to be around her. She's a magnet for, people and everything like that. So yes, Alicia Keys, Brandy, J. Cole, Bobby Brown, Justin Timberlake, and Kerry Washington. So those are some of the celebrities that I selected that have their sun in Aquarius. So remember, if you enjoyed what you heard, and if you have anything to add, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to start putting my social media handles in the description box. I forgot that I wasn't doing that, but I automatically post the links to my social media. I'm only on Facebook and Instagram. I haven't created a Twitter because I just don't really be on Twitter like that. But Instagram is usually my place most of the time. But you can definitely comment right under the YouTube videos, and stay tuned for my last video, which is going to be about the mystical and mysterious Pisces. So get your incense ready and your weed, because we about to go deep into the ocean when I discuss Pisces. So thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.